Alright, what's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be giving you guys a review for Titans, the DC Universe exclusive original show. Now, with this show, it's had a lot of controversy, a lot of backlash from the fans, myself included. I was not expecting much from this show. I don't think most people were expecting much from the show, whether you're a DC fan or a Marvel fan. This show, like when you look at the previews, when you look at the trailers or whatever, it doesn't seem like it really captures the spirit of the Teen Titans that a lot of us are used to, whether you've read the comics or whether you are, and I think most of us are familiar with the Teen Titans show that came on in around, I want to say 2005, 2004 or whatever. And so going into this show, I had low expectations. And to be honest, this first episode, it was just as bad as I would have thought it would have been. The first part of this episode. So first of all, I should say this. Now, let's go ahead and get to Starfire because I know a lot of people, myself included, we were all bagging on Starfire, the way that she looks and stuff, the way that the way that her costume looks and everything. And I was the first one to say, if the actress is good at playing Starfire, then, it doesn't really matter that much. Of course, I don't like the fact that she walks around dressed like a prostitute, like a scripper or something, but regardless, if the actor was good, I'm willing to give her a chance. And there was a lot of backlash to the point where I think you know, people were attacking her on Twitter and everything like that. But I'll say she was the best part. Ironically, she was the best part about this first episode because throughout all the trailers, they're really focusing a lot on Raven. They're focusing a lot on Raven, and Raven seems like Raven's plot line with her dealing with her powers and stuff seems to be one of the biggest focuses. It seems like it's going to be the biggest focus for this season, and I feel like they went the wrong route with this. They shouldn't have tried to really dive into Raven first. They really shouldn't. They really shouldn't be putting too much emphasis on Raven's powers and trying to be all dark and gritty. Because honestly, I don't think the dark and gritty really works for Titans. It doesn't really work for the Teen Titans. I mean, honestly, like I said this earlier, this isn't the Teen Titans that we're used to, and I'm okay with them grounding it to a point because it's obvious that DC Universe wants to have their shows be similar to the Marvel Netflix shows like Luke Cage and Daredevil, stuff like that. It's obvious they want to try to copy and try to be like Marvel and Netflix. But the crazy thing is, this show, from what I've seen, this first episode, like this is lower. I want to say this is lower than Iron Fist, and Iron Fist just got canceled. This is lower than Iron Fist, but it says something. It speaks volumes that at least DC is willing to give this a chance. Like they have confidence in it because they've already greenlit it for a second season. But just judging off this episode alone, I did not like. So the characters and actors, like as far as the acting goes around the board, it was pretty low, pretty substandard. I mean, the acting wasn't the greatest. I think Anna Drop or Ina Diop. I don't know how to say the actress name correctly, but Anna, the girl who played the woman who played Starfire, I thought that she did the best out of every actor in there. A lot of them were just bad, a lot of them, or they were just serviceable. But I think that she did the best. And honestly, I've spoken a lot about Starfire in particular so far in this review, mainly because I was kind of surprised by her storyline a little bit, because with her, and I guess I should say this kind of, minor spoilers for this review. So, if you haven't watched the episode and you're concerned about spoilers, you might want to stop watching now. But So she, like, when we first see Starfire in this episode, she wakes up. She's in a car with this dude he's all bloody. He's obviously been killed. She's throughout the episode, she's trying to figure out what in the world is going on, and it's almost a Jason Bourne situation. It's a situation that we've seen in a lot of action movies where like the person lost their memory, but they're able to do all these fantastical things. They have all these skills and they're able to fight and stuff. And they're like, okay, what's going on? Who am I? What's going on? And that is basically what they're doing with Starfire's character. And like I said before, it's obvious they're trying to ground it. They're trying to make it gritty and everything. And if she's not an alien in this one, because I don't know if they're going that route, if she's not an alien in this one, I'll give them credit for at least saying, okay, she's not going to be an alien, but because if she was an alien, they would go with the whole fish out of water thing. They'll go with, okay, she's an alien, so she has to try to figure out, you know, he has to try to figure out how Earth works. She's not really used to Earth. But with this, they're saying, okay, Starfire's a character who, okay, she lost her memory. She doesn't really know what's going on. So it kind of works with this character, this different interpretation. But I really just wish they would give her better clothes. Just give her a better costume, at least. I also would have preferred them, pick pick an actress that actually kind of looks closer to the character, that kind of has that look. But to be honest, like I said, the actress is probably the best thing in this so far, because the rest of the stuff of like Robin and Raven and the little bit that we get to see from Beast Boy, it's just terrible. It's terrible. The stuff that they've been promoting about Raven is, oh man, she has all these powers and she can't control it, and like it's very very standard. We've seen this crap before with like the teenage emo angsty kid that can't control her powers. She's dealing with stuff. Her mom is afraid of her, and honestly, the show opens up in the weirdest way possible. The show opens up with her, with Raven, who's called Rachel in this. It opens up with Raven or Rachel, however you want to really call the character in this. But it opens up with Rachel basically. She's dreaming about Dick Grayson and his parents dying at the circus. The Flying Graysons. We all know what happened to his parents. And I'm trying to figure out, why is she dreaming about this man's parents dying? You weren't there. I assumed that she wasn't there, but somehow she knows about it. So I assume that that's something that they're going to go back to later on in the season. But I feel like that's kind of forced. I feel like they're trying to force a connection between her and Robin, or her and Dick Grayson. And I don't think that was really necessary. I don't think that you needed to have, like, you didn't really need to have that. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to really play up this relationship that's gonna happen between Dick Grayson and Raven or Rachel, because Dick Grayson is going to be playing that same role that Bruce. He's going to be doing the same thing that Bruce did for him when he was a kid and he lost his parents. Rachel ends up losing her parent in this episode, and basically, the trailers, it's not even a spoiler, because the trailers have already kind of alluded to this already, that he's basically going to take her in, just like Bruce did for him. But I feel like they're trying to force this connection between the two characters, and they have literally no chemistry whatsoever. And the actress who plays Raven, she's terrible. I didn't really like the guy who plays Robin either. And this whole crap that they're doing with, like, oh, Robin, like, one of the issues I had with this was like, okay, Robin's up here killing people. Even Starfire killed somebody. And I'm like, so everyone just kills people without remorse in this. And granted, with like Starfire's storyline, we don't know too much about what's going on with her. And like I said, her storyline, or her story plot or whatever, her plot line in this is probably the most interesting, because with Dick Grayson, the F Batman line, y'all all know, that was the line that pretty much stirred up the internet. He's like, oh, F Batman. And the fight scene with that was pretty terrible. He's up here killing people, and here's the thing that I don't get, and maybe they'll explain this later. It's like, okay, he left Batman because he didn't like the way Batman was doing things. And from one IGN article that I read, it was like it said something like, okay, Dick Grayson left Bruce. He left Bruce Wayne. He left Bruce Wayne. He left Batman because Batman is up here killing people. But then in this episode, we see Robin freaking killing people. We see Dick Grayson killing people, and then we also see him nearly beat a man half to death. So it's like, what? I'm trying to figure out what y'all going for, and I've talked about this with my friend before, and I've seen a lot of people say this also. It's like, if you're going to go this route with people with Dick Grayson, with Robin killing people, why not use Jason Todd? And I know that Jason Todd is actually going to be in this, but it's just like, why have two Robins killing people? You're kind of messing with the because the source material isn't like that. The comics isn't like that, but yeah, overall with the stuff with Robin, like I said, it was the least interesting part, along with the Raven stuff. One thing I can say is that in comparison to Iron Fist, and I know I brought up Iron Fist earlier, this, as far as the writing goes, Iron Fist is a step above, and with the lighting, as far as like the crazy thing, I hate shows that pretty much everything is dark. Like in this, I'm wondering throughout a lot of the episode, where's the color? It's like DC didn't learn from Batman versus Superman. One of the main criticisms of DC, from like the last few years, before they decided to lighten up and try to be more humorous with their films and stuff, was okay. Y'all are too dark. Y'all need to, lighten it up a bit. But with this, they're going completely angsty dark. They're trying to be gritty, and that's why they added that F Batman line, because they said that they wanted to basically set the tone for the show by having Dick Grayson say F Batman, but it wasn't necessary and it didn't work. And same thing with the way that they have shot everything, the way that they're using this filter. They're using that weird, that ugly blue filter in one of the the earlier scenes and stuff. Like, it's clear that this has bad direction, and honestly, I would have loved to see more color. I think the best scene in this opening episode was with Starfire, where she's at the club, because there was more. Despite the fact that literally the majority of the show is very dark, the colors are very muted, but when she's in the club, it's like there's a lot of things that you see that has a lot of color that really pops and really stands out, because everything else is kind of dark inside the club. And I think the club scene with Starfire was probably the best part of this episode. Even with the bad CGI effects for when she uses her fire, it's still the best thing in this episode. Surprisingly, I'm amazed that the best part of this episode has to do with Starfire, the character that a lot of people were, like I said, me included, was talking a lot of crap about. But everything else in this, like I said before, not to repeat myself, but everything else in this is really bad. It's like, I mentioned the lighting just a few minutes ago or seconds ago. I'm like, the lighting, I'm trying to figure out, do y'all know what lighting is? Like, lighting the place up. Like, the scenes are so dark. And a lot, like that fight scene with Robin. Very dark scene, and when scenes are dark like that, and you're trying to do hand-to-hand combat, it just is bad, especially the way that they shot it and stuff. But yeah, pretty much I think I've covered everything that I needed to cover about this first episode. Also, one last thing, they did show Beast Boy like at the end in the worst way possible. They show him at the end. He transformed into a tiger. He broke into, I guess, a GameStop or whatever to go steal a video game. It was like, this scene is horrible. Like, if you get a chance to watch the show, this is like that has to be one of the worst scenes in this episode. It's like y'all could have saved Beast Boy for later. Really, y'all didn't really need this. And this is a horrible introduction to Beast Boy. Like, why is so we got Beast Boy stealing. We got Starfire and Robin killing people. We got an angsty emo Raven. I feel like they could have, like I said this before, they could have saved the Raven stuff to probably another season, because they're obviously going to have these characters come together. Surprisingly, these characters all come from different states and different backgrounds, and that's something I can say that I like. Because at first I thought that they were all going to be in the same city. I can say that that kind of surprised me. But yeah, overall, this episode it really wasn't good at all. If I had to give this episode a rating, I'd probably give it a 5 out of 10. I could give it a 6, but I think that'd be like way too generous. Thank you guys for watching this review. If you guys enjoyed listening and stuff, like the video, subscribe. If you guys want to see me do another review for Titans, let me know. Actually, let me know if you're actually paying for DC Universe, because I'm not. That should probably tell you. Like, I feel like a lot of people, are actually downloading the leaked copy, because there was a leak. The first episode had leaked online, and so that's how I got. I'm gonna be 100% with y'all. I'm not about to pay for this crap. I'm not gonna pay for this crap, especially if this is the quality of if this is basically an indication. If Titans is an indication of the level of quality that DC Universe Originals is gonna have, I'm definitely not paying for that crap. I'm wondering. Just tell me in the comment section below. Are you paying for DC Universe? Are you excited for Titans? And let me know what you guys thought about Titans Episode 1. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out of here. This has been Fear No Hate. I'm out of here. Peace.